second longest winning streak at 7 wins. So let's talk about the offense. You feeling better about it?
A little bit. I mean, they're still home run heavy, if you will. I'd love to see them be able to manufacture runs more often, but at this point, put runs on the board however you do it. There are people, what I laugh at is people going, they can't plan for the home run every time. They're not planning for it. They're not going up there going, well, I guess I'll go ahead and hit a home run right now. That's not how that works. It's worked out in their favor, and they'd certainly like to, be able to move runners along station to station if they could, here and there, manufacture runs, but they have found a way around it, and I think because the pitching has been so darn good, it's allowed them some slack to find a rhythm at the plate with some of these guys. So do I worry about it? Not like I did, but I think if we're talking in the postseason and talking about what didn't go right, that would be my first guess, is that they weren't able to hit the ball out of the park and they weren't able to move runners along. That would probably be the shortcoming if we were talking about where are they lacking. It's still probably the one weakness that we could focus on, but at this point, they've found ways around it.
How important was winning Sunday after they sat through a long rain delay and had to go to extras?
I think it was huge. I think that was huge. I mean, that was a test of everything. That was just an endurance test, a 4.5-hour rain delay. To put everything on the bullpen the way they did and watch them come through and win that game on the road. It was spectacular, and that's a team they're playing that has something to play for. This isn't the Tigers, this isn't the A's or the Royals or some of these other teams that are on the schedule coming up. This is a team that's in the thick of it in the AL Central that's got everything to play for, battling with the Twins. So to do that on their home field after you just took 3 of 4 from them in Seattle, that was a massive win. That was huge.
We're gonna bug Bob here. What do you think about Baltimore's Brandon Hyde being favored over Scott Service as AL Manager of the Year?
I might surprise you with this. I can't blame anybody that's going that way. The Orioles were expected to be dog patch. They didn't do anything to better the team really in the offseason. Trade deadline did nothing. They got rid of Trey Mancini. It was just, what they're doing is pretty shocking, and I think we've all been sitting there waiting for them to fall off the pace, and maybe in the final couple weeks they will. I don't know, but for them to do what they've done to this point, as long as they've been doing it, he has to be in consideration. He has to be in the conversation. I think Scott Service has been spectacular again, but if I'm going to argue against and take the other side and compare it to last season he did it with duct tape. Like last season, he was hands down Manager of the Year. He got screwed. This year, he's got more resources. Julio's been, spectacular. They bring over Robbie Ray. They bring over Luis Castillo. In addition to Adam Frazier and Jesse Winker in different spots, Gino Suarez, you've got more to work with. He has more to work with than he did last year. Last year was a more obvious case to me for Scott Service. He still needs to be in the conversation, but I can't blame anybody that's looking at Baltimore going, come on, who expected this?
How exciting is this weekend series against the defending world champs from Atlanta?
Every series is exciting. Every one of them. I'm sure Mariner fans, if you're watching this, you're invested. You are on the edge of your seat. We got, 27 games left, I think? And every one of them feels like they mean the world. When they win, you're elated. It's the best. When they lose, you're just, it felt like such a gut punch. And that's the best thing, that you're so invested in every game means the world. I don't care who they're playing right now, to be honest. I honestly have no concern who's on the schedule. I can look at it and go, yeah, that's a good team. That could be tougher than this series, but every one of them means the world right now. Because you watch that wild card race, it's nip and tuck. Every night it changes. They're tied for the top, they're in the third spot, they're in the second spot, and it's night to night to night that it differs. There's no gap between them. Nobody's extended the lead, so to speak. So every single game carries the same amount of value. Yeah, you love to see them beat the good teams. We've seen them lose to the bad teams too. So I'm excited for it, but if you ask me, how excited are you for the Royals series? I'd say just as excited.
How about a pick to click for this week?
Pick to click this week. Julio's starting to click. Ty's come back. Mitch has been there. Cal Raleigh's been, boy, guys, how about J.P. Crawford? How about J.P.? Came up with a big hit in that Guardian series, but overall, not been a great year for J.P. at the plate. Maybe it's going to be him. I still think he's crucial. I know he's not a run producer, not a power guy, but he's a leader in that clubhouse, and he's a leader on the field. So I think he's due. He is really due to get something going on a more consistent basis. So I'll go J.P. Crawford.